Welcome back to another presentation by the Sexperts. I'm Mary, and today in our LGBTQ+ series, we are going to be discussing what the acronym LGBTQ+ actually stands for. The LGBTQ+ community has had many names throughout the years, including gay, LGB, LGBT, LGBTQ, LGBTQ+, and LGBTQIA+. Each new acronym has come about with the goal of being more inclusive to all of those in the community, which is why as time has progressed, the acronym has gotten longer. While most people currently use LGBTQ+, one of the most inclusive acronyms to date is LGBTQIP2SAA+. This is the acronym we will be going through today. The first letter in the acronym is L, which stands for lesbian. A lesbian is a person who identifies as female and is attracted to other females. The second letter in the acronym is G, which stands for gay. Gay has two common definitions: a person who identifies as male and is attracted to other males, or a person who is attracted to people of the same gender as themselves. For example, some women may call themselves gay if they're attracted to other women. In the past, gay was also used to refer to all people in the LGBTQ+ community, simply being called the gay community. However, as awareness of the diversity within the community has grown, gay has shifted from representing the whole community to usually just representing a subset of the community. The third letter in the acronym is B, which stands for bisexual. Bisexual describes a person who is attracted to more than one gender. Commonly, this is seen as being attracted to both males and females. However, gender is a spectrum, not a binary. So for a person that identifies as bisexual, this could include genders outside of the binary as well, such as an androgynous person. The fourth letter of the acronym is T, which stands for transgender. Transgender refers to a person who identifies as a gender different than what they were assigned at birth. The word transgender is used as an umbrella term. Usually, this is seen as someone who was assigned male at birth but identifies as female or vice versa. However, since gender is a spectrum, this causes variation among people who are transgender. It is also important to note that being transgender is not related to sexual orientation. Instead, it is based on gender identity and expression. The fifth letter of the acronym is Q, which stands for question. Questioning refers to a person who is exploring one or more of their sexual identities. This includes their gender identity, gender expression, or sexual orientation. Some individuals may question their sexuality for a short period of time before finding a word or set of words that best describe themselves. Others could be in this state of uncertainty for a long time, or even their whole lives. It is important to give a person the space they need to explore and determine their own sexuality. As we discussed in the Gender Unicorn video, sexual behavior and gender expression are not necessarily indicative of sexual orientation and gender identity. Just because you believe you know how a person does or should identify does not mean that it is the identity that most resonates with that person. The sixth letter of the acronym is another Q, which stands for queer. Queer is commonly used as an umbrella term for the entire LGBTQ+ community, leading many people to use the terms interchangeably. It refers to a person who does not fit into cisgender and/or heterosexual dominant societal norms. However, this word originally meant abnormal or strange, leading it to be used in a derogatory way in the past. Now many people are reclaiming the word to describe themselves. Due to its conflicting use, it is important to check with the person that you are speaking to before using the word queer to describe a person or the community as a whole. The seventh letter of the acronym is I, which stands for intersex. Intersex is a medical condition in which a person is not clearly male or female. This is because they are born with both male and female characteristics. To learn more about how a person can be both male and female, check out our video on the 8 variables of gender. The 8th letter of the acronym is P, which stands for pansexual. Pansexual is someone who is attracted to people regardless of their gender. This commonly gets confused with bisexual, given that its definition is being attracted to more than one gender. The biggest difference between the two is that a person who is bisexual is attracted to men, women, non-binary, etc. A person who is pansexual is attracted to a person as a whole. A quote commonly used to describe pansexual is "hearts, not parts," due to their attraction to the inner person, not the outer. The 9th part of the acronym is 2S, which represents Two-Spirit. Two-Spirit is a Native American term used to describe a third gender. This third gender is usually between being male and female. Two-Spirit is an umbrella term. It can be seen differently in different people and among different tribes. A Two-Spirit individual may vary in many aspects. While it typically refers to a person's gender, a Two-Spirit individual may also engage in same-sex behaviors or vary gender expression. It is important to note that this term is only to be used in the Native American community, as it is a culturally specific identity. The 10th part of the acronym is A, which stands for asexual. Asexual has 2 meanings. In the broad sense, it is used as an umbrella term for someone who is not sexually and/or emotionally attracted to other people. Some types of asexuality do experience attraction, but on a much lower level than the average person. On a more specific level, asexual refers to someone who does not experience sexual attraction, while aromantic refers to someone who does not have emotional attraction to others. Within asexuality, there are many different sub-identities that a person may identify as depending on their levels of emotional and sexual attraction towards others. The 11th part of the acronym is another A. Depending on the source, this can stand for androgynous, ally, or be dropped altogether. Androgynous is when someone does not identify as or appears to be male or female. Instead, they appear to be more of a blend of the two genders, or entirely separate from the gender binary. Ally is someone who does not identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community, but instead is a supporter of it. Having ally in the acronym is debated in the community due to the fact that LGBTQ+ is supposed to stand for those who are not cisgender or heterosexual. Adding ally makes LGBTQ+ stand for every person instead of its intended purpose. This is why many people drop the second A entirely. The 12th and final part of the acronym is plus. Plus represents all sexual orientations and gender identities that are not represented in the acronym. This includes commonly used ones that only a select few use, and those constantly being added in society. Common identities that you may or may not have heard of include agender, non-binary, demisexual, gender non-conforming, omnigender, omnisexual, aromantic, gender fluid, genderqueer, and gray sexual. At the end of the day, these are just words with imperfect definitions that help us describe and understand people. For some, these words represent them well. For others, these words do not even begin to encompass their experience of themselves and the world. It is important to respect whatever word a person chooses to use to describe themselves. It is their choice of how they present themselves to the world. If you're interested in learning more, check out our next video in our LGBTQ+ series. If you have any questions, please comment below or contact us on social media. Please like and subscribe for more videos on sexual and reproductive health. Thank you!